The Jews are coming here in numbers, so therefore we need to make sure that we bring in more Pakistanis from Pakistan to come to South Africa. Where is the money that they are getting from these sponsor shops? Because it's not going to SARS.
Yes.
It's not coming back to our economy.
Yes.
So the people keep making this thing look like it's all glossy. You know, like, oh, it's poor migrants coming in because they're poor, they're refugees and asylum seekers, and oh, they need to survive.
The Pakistanis, the Somalis come in.
It's a criminal net. I don't want it to. No, I don't want us to sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
The sponsor shop business has become a criminal network.
I agree with you.
It's no longer a normal business.
I agree
because
with you.
if you're killing South Africans who are opening sponsor shops because you don't want them to open sponsor shops where the areas you think belong to you, your territory, that is a crime network. It's gangsterism. It's not migrants who are poor running away from their conditions in Somalia and Ethiopia and Pakistani and Bangladesh.
Big corporations.
Very well established. And all of these people know each other. They have networks. And the biggest problem of this all is the money network. Where is the money that they are getting from these sponsor shops? Because it's not going to SARS. It's not coming back to our economy. On top of that, the goods coming from the ports, it's a network from outside of South Africa. It's not a network in South Africa.
And it doesn't benefit us either.
The people keep making this thing look like it's all glossy. You know, like, oh, it's poor migrants coming in because they're poor, they're refugees and asylum seekers, and oh, they need to survive. Why would we have more foreigners going to Home Affairs litigating the department to stay in South Africa and continue getting more rights than migrants actually should if they don't know what they're doing? They know exactly what they're doing. And let me tell you, you know exactly what they're doing because now they've started going to try and get voted for in communities and starting their own political parties, etc., etc. There was even a video of a member in parliament. I think I'll find that video. I'll try and find it for you. Who was saying that the Jews are coming here in numbers, so therefore we need to make sure that we bring in more Pakistanis from Pakistan to come to South Africa.
I'd rather just have South Africans.
That is exactly my point. You know, people are saying Jacinta is funded by Israel. I'm like, do you guys not hear what I'm saying? I don't care about foreigners coming from Israel, from Pakistan, from...
As long as they have their paperwork.
Even besides getting paperwork, because that's another element I want to go into. I care about South Africans right now.
And I agree with you. I don't think that it's unfair to say I'm for my family first.
Yes.
I'm not unkind if I put a lock on my gate and don't let strangers in.
Not at all.
And it's hard to say, you know, we can all come in and share of our infrastructure when our infrastructure is failing and cannot deliver services to its own people.
Exactly.
And our president has stood up State of the Nation and said, all are welcome. We won't send anybody away. Please all come and use our infrastructure. And then South Africans are saying, hey, I can't get
What
services.
infrastructure are you wanting us to share with people in the first place?
Okay, so but then answer me this. It feels like once we have chased all of these immigrants away, say they're gone tomorrow, that it will not have fixed the underlying problem that is government failing.
But you see, that's where I feel a lot of people are wrong.
Okay.
The issue may be about migrants, but it's far bigger than that. It's about fighting a system, which is a government system. And once people are able to stand up to their government and remove that system completely, it ushers in new opportunities for new governance and a new system to take over the country.
Is there a further larger revolution on the horizon then?
The revolution has already started.
And what
the minute South Africans are not sitting on their phones and they are on the streets demanding, trust me, it means this country will never go down.
Okay, so then that scares me a little bit, and I'll tell you why. I see the immigrant being made scapegoat, rightfully so. There's criminal elements, there's jobs being taken. I'm not disputing that, and I agree with you that they need to go. We need law and order. Okay, once they go, our economy's still stalled. Right? There may be some more job openings, but the economy's still stalled. We still don't have the infrastructure. We've still got crime. Who's the next target?
But you see, that's where the problem is.
But who's the next to blame?
There's no target here. The issue is with government. The issue is with the system.
But if we're saying
if
it's
the
with
system is allowing for migrants to currently clog the system so that South Africa does not grow,
I hear you.
then the problem is not only the migrants, it's the system. So when we fight the current system, we remove the problem, which is the migrants that are not allowing us to fight the government. I said this in one of the interviews. Let me explain to you how.
Okay.
Let's talk about capitalism, for example, which is obviously we're in a mixed economy right now. Now, capitalism is the one system that has led us to come here where we are today, where we have millions of migrants that are unaccounted for because of cheap labor, right?
Okay.
With cheap labor comes how many other problems? Obviously, South Africans not working, the rich becoming richer, poor becoming poorer, poorer people become criminals because they need to survive. When they need to survive, they're going to end up fighting the rich. Obviously, that's a system, that's how it works. It's like a ripple effect.
Yes.
Now, if we're saying to the poor people, you have an opportunity to change the system.
Yes.
You can change your government.
I hear you.
And by changing your government, it means dismantling all of these things at the same time. Because remember, let me give you an example. When we say that there's a lot of crime, migrants, whatever, right? What happens? There's more police visibility. When there's more police visibility, it's not justified migrants. When the police are there, they're not going to say, oh, no, I'm just chasing migrants down the streets. I'm going to ignore you while you rob a store. It's not going to work that way. Even those who are committing crimes, there's more police visibility for all crimes throughout, which is something we've never seen happening in the country before.
And I'm for more policing. That's great. But come back to the idea of we've put a target on the immigrant. That's the problem that we have within the system. And we're saying there's this bigger systematic problem that we have to take on. What stops us from then saying, you know what, the next problem is?
We're not putting
white capital.
No.
They need to go next.
There's always been a target on white capital. That's the thing. That's why the EFF
So now
is
we've
here
organized and we're seeing movement, we're seeing our power, and we're rallying behind the revolution. And first we're saying immigrants out. What's to stop the next target? Because we need a target. There always has to be someone to blame.
No, you see, that's where you and I will disagree.
There's no target. I'm asking the question.
The target is government. I repeat that again.
But it's pointed at immigrants.
No, the target is government for allowing the issue of illegal immigrants to thrive in the country. The target is government for not enforcing their own laws. The target is government.
But you're not marching on Parliament to take on Parliament.
No, we are.
You're chasing immigrants away.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No. That's not true. All our marches went to either a government building or a police station.
Yes.
Ours ended at the police station, Point Road. You know why? Because Point Road is one of those places with organized crime where all of these Nigerians and all of these people are committing crimes.
Yeah.
There was one that went straight to the union buildings, which was not the first time we went to the union buildings, by the way. And all the other provinces went to a government building.
And so you're going to the building?
Yes, and we're handing over a memorandum to government and demanding answers from government. And these memorandums that we're handing over, by the way, are listing the same laws that we have in the country that the government is meant to be enforcing. It's not sitting there and saying, we're going to tell you there's 2 million migrants, remove them. What? No, we're saying there are laws that you wrote down. Yes. And you said, in order for me to hire a foreigner, for example, I need to follow this process. Currently, you're the same government that's not following that process.
So the immigrant gets kicked out. The immigrant's being removed.
Listen, I don't want you to. You see, this is why I want to keep shifting the goalposts to government, because we're talking about the law here. We're not talking about the immigrants.
How does the government get kept to account?
That's what we're doing right now. I've been to Parliament personally to make them account for them not enforcing their own laws. I've met with different ministers, education, the police minister, etc., because what we are referring to, I'm going to say again, is not the immigrant. It is the laws of the country that don't allow the immigrant to be here. Now the clash comes when the immigrants themselves, this is where I want people to be honest with themselves about the immigrants in this country. Immigrants in this country have been protected for a long time. That they've gotten entitled, they've gotten arrogant, and they've gotten very brave, right?
Sure. I saw some Malawians on the camera saying, you guys can come and
you are lazy, you are this and that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
So you can't expect that to not play a factor in people being angry. Because like I say, we are fighting our government. Our marches are to our government. We're not going to the drive-in where the Malawians are and saying remove. If we wanted to do that, trust me, we would have done that.
We are seeing some people being grabbed and chased away and papers checked.
Well, let me tell you, I don't want to account for things that other people are doing. That's not on us, because we've never even preached that.
Okay.
I'm going to account for what we say and what we do. So, like I said, communities are angry. Remember, I said this from the beginning, from the onset, and that is because of government's failures. But I still maintain we must never take away from the role that the immigrants themselves have played. Because if you're in a foreign country and you start telling the natives of that country you're not going anywhere, Mandela said this is our country, we are going to... You can't pretend like those people are innocent. And that's the problem I have with South Africa. A lot of people are acting like migrants are just these, all of them. And you know, one thing you must have noted, I don't know if you noted this, and it worries me that our government didn't find a problem with that. So many of them are being interviewed. Oh, life is not the same in South Africa. There are no jobs, blah, blah, blah. There are no jobs. Almost all of them are complaining that there are no jobs in South Africa. So what exactly were they doing in the country? How were they surviving? Why are people not asking themselves those questions? Why are they not asking them that question?
The flip side is that you have South Africans complaining that all the jobs are going to immigrants.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying to you, South Africans don't have jobs, right? Statistically, that's been
massive unemployment.
Blah, blah, blah. That's okay. But I'm saying we've got people coming from Malawi, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, all of this, coming to our TVs. I mean, I'm seeing this even on Sigzoktola that I was talking about when they ask Nigerians, why are you selling drugs? Because there are no opportunities. So what are you doing in the country?
I think
how are you surviving?
Opportunities. There definitely are loads of immigrants that
but listen to what I'm saying. They're saying they don't have opportunities. There are no jobs. So what are they doing in the country? How are they surviving? What means do they have to survive?
And
no, some of them are not surviving because of working.
They're surviving? They're just committing
crime.
Sure, I don't think that you can say it's the vast majority.
I'm not saying all of them. That's not what I'm saying.
I would say it's not the majority.
I'm not saying it's the majority, but I'm saying when you're on TV and you're saying yourself that there are no opportunities in South Africa, there's no means to survive. Why is nobody asking, so how were you surviving in South Africa? Nobody's been asking that question. That's my question.
Yeah, that's a fair question. Tell me, what do you say to the South African or to the immigrant when the South African says, you're taking my job? Why do you think the immigrant gets the job?
Look, I think there's a lot of reasons. I'll start on the lower scale of things, which is something that we know factually. There's a minimum wage in the country. We know that. There's a lot of unions that have caused problems for people, especially employers who get tired of explaining themselves to unions because South African employers have protection when they're under unions, and unions...
Employees have protection.
Employees, yes. And then...
so our labor law is restrictive.
Yes, so our labor laws make it very hard to treat employees in a certain way. So employers will obviously naturally take advantage of an opportunity where they can avoid dealing with labor unions and dealing with the minimum wage and paying as little as they can. I mean,
how often do you think that really happens? I've heard that is like
a lot. There's an entire TV show on it as well, on TV,
so where
they find hundreds and hundreds of people working in factories, but those are lower level, like I said, lower level entry jobs. That's what I'm trying to explain.
Because any company that's registered with SARS has to account for their salaries to be expensed, needs to be able to show paperwork.
But they do hire some South Africans, remember. So they do that, and then they manipulate the paperwork.
I think it's a tough argument to say that everybody's skirting that kind of law.
Well,
SARS is one of the few institutions that does work in this country.
Our conversation in general needs to be cognizant of the fact that we're not talking about everyone. Even when I talk about committing crime, I'm not talking about every migrant committing crimes. I'm just talking about things that we have seen as perpetuating the problem and causing more problems. Of course, I know a lot of people will ask for statistics. There are no statistics because nobody's been doing research on the issue. So I don't understand these people that want statistics. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Like, you don't go out and find statistics. Where do you think you're going to get statistics of how many people are working in factories, whatever? But like I said, there's an entire TV show where every week there's about 300, 400 people being removed from a single factory.